We just pulled off the easement road and we're parked on the start of the driveway. So we're directly on the property. So this is walking back to the easement road. We crossed the little creek and we came up this hill. And then really this probably needs a culvert at some point. But with a truck, we just drove right over that little ditch area right there, and you can see the driveway. So quite a bit of road frontage. The road frontage continues, and actually you can't see it, but the road forks up there, and there's even more road frontage. But as we go in here, we've got a couple posts. Someone may have had a gate or a chain up at some point. But this is tract 65 at Cedar Gap Hollow. And this is an exciting video to do because we've been told that someone was leasing tract 65 and had it for a couple years actually, and built some kind of a, not an earthship type home, but some kind of a little hobbit hut, or I'm not sure. A couple of people have called it different things. So we're excited to see what that looks like. Very private tract. It's good sized. Unfortunately, it's extremely overcast today. Oh, there's our first glimpse at it right there. Yeah, that's cool. This looks like it was set up as probably a parking area right there. But the driveway goes up and winds back. Looks like another parking area there with some wood pallets. And there's the structure. Look at that. That's wild. So our understanding is a couple people were out here and, like I said, basically leasing the property. I don't know if they actually were staying out here, if they just used it for recreation and camping, but at some point they built that concrete structure, and we're going to investigate that. They had quite a setup in the yard at some point, and so you're going to see some solar panels, old solar panels. In some of the trees, we've got some wiring. They had quite a bit of solar run, and they had lights and different cameras and stuff up. But mainly we're interested in, well, obviously the property, but also this really interesting structure. If anybody knows what this is called, please put it in the comments. I've seen one or two of these just on the internet. I've never seen one in person. I assume there's a door. It appears to be solid concrete. There's a door right there. Okay. So we had a window on the other side, a door here, some kind of stovepipe up there. Wow. So before we go in, I'd love to get at least an approximate measurement on this thing. It's actually bigger than I expected. It's roughly circular, and I'm just gonna pace it off and we'll get a rough idea here. So start right there. 1, 2, 3, 15. Okay. It seems to be maybe just a hair bigger than 15 feet. I want to say 15 by 15, but it's not square, it's circular. But so that would be what? Circle with a diameter of 15 feet. That sounds right. It's got a steel door. And it looks like it's set up to have a lock. It's just got a old toothbrush in there right now. Okay. I don't believe there's anything in here from what we've been told. Whoop. There's the stovepipe. So this is solid concrete. Wow. This was a labor of love for someone to do this. Had to be so much work. You can actually see dozens of layers of concrete as they built this up. Probably hand mixing each layer to get just the consistency they wanted. Inside, I don't know if that's a ramped earth floor or if that's a concrete floor. And then they have a lot of the interior. They've basically, I don't know if you call that stuccoed or not, but the lower part, they went over that with the concrete. Upper part, you can actually see some of the rebar supporting structure up there. That's cool. It's got the single window, which lets in a lot of light. I think that's a single hung, but that's a vinyl window. Funky little mirror right there. There's a couple shelves. So someone had told me about the piece of metal right here. That's not a random piece. That was actually outside, affixed somehow to the window as a rain guard. And somebody took it off and they just put it inside. So this would be a similar idea on the door here. That's basically a rain guard to keep the rain from pouring in. Okay. I'd like to try to get some pictures along with the video if possible. Oh, that is too cool. Wow. It's just awesome. The yard itself, it needs some cleanup for sure, but they picked a good spot. This is a large tract. It's over 5 acres. So you wouldn't necessarily be locked into this site as a building site. We're only seeing a fraction of the property right here. But it is fairly level. Obviously they had it set up as a yard. Oops, there we go. That pit right there, I'm calling it a pit because it is. But you could see in, I think one of the aerials, there was a structure right there with the roof over it. And we think that's kind of what they used as the workspace when they were doing the concrete. So they would use that as a water collection source to mix up the concrete for this structure and whatever else. The kind of straight piles of dirt, they had a fence there at some point. They had a lower metal type fence just to delineate the yard from the rest of the property. Of course, there's a satellite dish. Gotta have that. And they had this run, like I said, they had this run completely off of solar. And we can still see some of the wires in the trees and whatnot, but they won't be of any value. Deer prints everywhere. Fresh, very fresh deer prints. That is just super cool. I'm sure there's a lot you could do to improve that, or it might be neat for a hunting cabin or even just storage. But potentially that could be a place, if you were to spruce it up a little bit, where you could live for a few weeks or whatnot while you built a different structure. Cedar Gap Hollow is a homestead friendly development development, so you don't have a minimum square footage requirement. There's no requirement of a certain size structure for your residence, and it doesn't have to be on a concrete foundation. This one is. Little concrete pad right there. I'm not sure what that was. Not sure what that was for. The sun was out all day, and then just as we started pulling up, the sun went and hid behind some big clouds. But we really wanted to get this video anyway. We've had a few people ask about this structure, and it was definitely time to have a look at it. So if you're not already on our website at InstantAcres.com, that's where you can go. I'm sure we'll have a drone video. I don't know if we'll take it today or not, but we'll have some type of drone video showing the property from the air. We'll have some maps. We'll have some other information. So just go to InstantAcres.com and click on the link for homesteader friendly properties. And this is going to be within Cedar Gap Hollow. So it's tract 65 at Cedar Gap Hollow, if it's available. You're welcome to give us a call in the office. You're welcome to send us an email at sales@instantacres.com. And you can either ask about tract 65 at Cedar Gap Hollow, or you can ask about the little hobbit hut. It's not that little. It's taller than I expected, too. It's probably, 9 feet at the top, I would guess. Try to back up a little bit here. Man, that's wild. Certainly a labor of love for someone to put all the time into building that. The real value is in the acreage and the location, the fact that we're close to Springfield, Missouri, which is and has been the largest city in southern Missouri for decades. It keeps growing like gangbusters. This property where we stand now, we're really only about 30 miles outside of Springfield, so there's a lot of people in this area who work or go to school in Springfield. Anything within an hour of Springfield has just been harder and harder to get. I mean, prices are shooting up. Who knows what this property will be worth in 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I mean, exciting property. We've got a topo map on the website. You'll be able to see how the property sits as far as what's level and what's sloped. If memory serves, there's nothing steep that we would call steep on the property, but take a look at the drone video and the topo map, and that should help a lot with that. Certainly you're welcome to come and view any available property. It's always best to give us a call, and we can let you know if a property's still available, or if there's any special considerations like any gates or whatnot that you'll need to have a combo for. I can see about a dozen different species of trees from where we are right here. We must be basically right next to, would it be a chestnut tree? That's not a walnut, either a hazelnut or probably a chestnut tree. And you'll find black walnut trees out here as well. At Cedar Gap Hollow, we've seen several. That's from an oak tree, I believe. And then, yeah, that's some black walnut. Wow. Very, very cool. Well, we're going to end the video here, but definitely go to the website, InstantAcres.com. You can get a look at this property. And everything we sell on our website is available with instant owner financing. We really hope to hear from you.